Hi there, folks. Gonna do a little bit of knife sharpening tonight, and gonna do like a. It's been about 14 months since I've been carrying my Benchamde Mini Griptilian, and just wanted to kind of give an update on it because I feel like reviews of people who carry something for a considerable amount of time, in my opinion, carry a lot of weight. So like I said, I've had this knife now for about 14 months, and I've carried it probably about 95% of the time. Just recently, I have bought the Kershaw Cryo 2, which has a little bit bigger blade. So recently, the last I think I got this about a month ago, and I've been kind of mixing that in and occasionally carrying it, and I actually somehow got a pretty healthy nick in the blade of this one. But I'm gonna really what I wanted to talk about in this video was my Benchamde Mini Griptilian. Fantastic knife. It's still very well put together. The knife still retains an excellent edge. This model has the D2 steel and holds an edge very well. And I do strop my knives quite a bit to kind of maintain that edge. But both of these knives, this one's got a nick, and this one just it's due to be sharpened. So I'm just going to kind of go over my little process for sharpening my knives. I just put a piece of Scotch tape on the blade just to prevent the holder of the sharpening kit from marring up the finish on the knife, although it already is kind of beaten a little bit just from use. Anyway, go ahead and attach this. Grab my screwdriver here. Crank that down. There we go. It's fairly tight on there. And then, just to make sure that I'm hitting the whole entire length of the blade, I'll take I don't know if that's going to show up as well. Let me try this gold one. I've lost all my black markers, so yeah, the gold will show up okay. So basically I'll put the gold Sharpie on there so I can make sure that I'm evenly sharpening the entire length of the blade there. I'll let that dry for a sec. I'm going to do this knife as well, so I may as well get the Sharpie on the edge of that knife too. I can definitely feel a big nick. I put a heck of a nick in this Kershaw Cryo. I'm not sure what I did, but when you can really feel it, when you run the Sharpie along it, you know that's a really bad nick. So okay, so there's that. Okay, it's on the Benchamde Mini Griptilian. I'm going to go ahead and just start with the fine rod because really I don't need to put a new edge on it. I'm just kind of rehoning it. So I'm going to start with some honing oil and the fine diamond stone here, and I do a 20-degree angle on all my knives, well, I should say my everyday carry knives. And I did 10 swipes there, thereabouts. And I can see that I'm taking all of that Sharpie off the entire length of the blade, which means I'm getting a good, that means I have this lined up properly now. I've sharpened this knife. Like I said, I've had this knife for 14 months, so I kind of about know where to put the tape and the clamp for the sharpening kit. Okay. And that side looks good too. So now what I'll proceed to do, I'm going to wipe off some of the Sharpie here. That Sharpie just comes off with that oil, or sometimes if it dries on there, just a little bit of alcohol will take that right off. So then I'll just work my way back down. I'll start with 3 passes on each side. I'm going to make sure you get the whole length of that blade, and then I'll just start alternating. I like this little clamp that it's an accessory you can buy with the Lansky Ultimate Diamond kit, and kind of just helps you. You don't have to use it, but if you're working on a bench, it certainly holds it a lot more stable. The other knife, I'll probably start with a little bit more coarse diamond stone, because it's the first time I've sharpened it, so really I'll be changing the factory angle that they put on it, which was really sharp, but I'll be sharpening it at 20 degrees. Because that's where I like my everyday carry knives. I have some bigger, I have a Hablish bush tool trade knife that I sharpen at 30 degrees. You know, I'm not really, I don't have too many knives. I mean, I have a lot of knives, but I just don't carry too many of them. This one is the one that is with me every day, so I'm kind of enjoying the bigger blade in some instances with the Kershaw Cryo. And I just think I kind of bought that to where, you know, this is my favorite knife, so if I want to carry that Cryo on a day where I may be having to do something a little gnarly with my knife that might damage the blade, I'll probably prefer to use that one or carry that one that day, because I really like this Benchamde knife. I want to keep it nice and want to use it for many, many years to come. Let's see here. I'm going to feel that. Very sharp. I can feel it's very sharp, but I've got the ceramic stone as well, which just puts a nice polish on it. We'll go ahead and do that tonight too. And then later, probably when I'm watching TV or whatever, before bed, I'll use the leather strop on both of these knives. And I've got a video of that process. But that's how I usually maintain in between sharpenings, is probably 2-3 times a week. I will just kind of depends on how much I use it. I'll if I feel it starting to get dry, I'll strop it, and then when it seems to not get as sharp from the stropping, that's when I know it's time to come down to the workbench and work it over with the Lansky set. And sharpening knives is something that kind of growing up was not a skill that I picked up. It wasn't until a couple years ago that I decided I was going to start carrying a knife every day, that I really wanted to learn how to sharpen a knife. And this is the set, the Lansky Diamond set here is the one that so that one's very sharp. I'm going to go ahead and undo this one here. It's very nice. I'll just use this knife to take the tape off. Peel the tape off here. So anyway, what I was saying, this kit, my father, he uses just a stone. I, for whatever reason, just could never seem to get the angle right and get my knives really sharp like he does. So this little kit here really kind of helps with that. But so I don't know if you can see, you can see that the coating through over a year's use has seen some damage, but that kind of gives your knife character. And so that one's done. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this one going here. Add some tape so I don't scratch the finish. Now this is my first time sharpening this one, so I may not know exactly where to put the clamp. But we're going to guesstimate here. About in the middle. We crank it down so it doesn't move. Okay, so we're going to start with a medium. Maybe we'll start with a coarse grind, actually. On this one, just because it's the first time and I'm kind of putting the edge where I want it to be. So we'll start with the coarse, which is the purple one. That's pretty coarse, so it's kind of just for putting a new edge on. It doesn't take much, as coarse as this thing is. Just again, 20-degree angle on that. Not sure what wall. Put that new edge on it. Definitely taking off all the Sharpie marker there, the gold Sharpie marker. The reason why I'm doing the kind of seesaw motion is this one had a pretty substantial nick in it, so I might have to take some metal off. Considerable amount of metal off to take care of that nick. And we'll do this a couple times just to try and get rid of that nick if we can. If not, I'll just sharpen it, and over time, through sharpening, it'll come out. Alright, that's enough with the coarse. And now we'll go down to the medium. Let's see here. Ten strokes on the one side. Then I'll do 3 on each side. Then I'll just alternate for a bit. Then we'll get down to the fine. You can see that takes a considerable amount of metal off. And by the time you're done with your stropping, you want that edge to look very shiny, like the bumper of a chrome car, like a chrome bumper. You want it to be sharp, shiny. I feel the shinier it is, obviously the sharper it is, and it just seems to maintain edge a lot better. Alright, now we're going to go back to the, we'll wipe this off. Let's feel it. Okay, now we're going to go down to the fine edge here. And now, let's see here. Oh, very sharp. Okay, so now we're going to finish up with our ceramic stone and just polish the edge a bit, which is essentially what it's doing. The ceramic just polishes that edge, aids me, and that basically prevents me from having to strop it so much. Okay, very good. Let's see here. Screwdriver. Take the tape off. There we go. You can see the metal on my hands, how much metal I took off probably with that coarse bit there. Just so there you go. Kershaw Cryo 2, John Henry design, made in China. You know, basically I kind of bought it to have a bigger blade that would be kind of my beater knife. And again, I'm still rocking this most days. You know, probably 9 out of 10 days wearing this. And the Benchamde Mini Griptilian, still my favorite knife. And you know, great knife. So just wanted to do an update on the condition of my knife and let you all know I still love it. But anyway, thanks for watching, and have a good night.